never thought a simple glance at my phone would change everything. My name is Michael, I'm 36, and I've been married to Laura for 8 years. We met in college, young and ambitious, and built a life together slowly but surely. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but I always believed our bond was strong. That belief was about to shatter in a way I never imagined. It started like any other day. I was scrolling through emails on my laptop while Laura stepped out for her morning jog. Her phone had been charging on the counter. Out of habit more than curiosity, I unlocked it with the fingerprint she had left on my hand months ago. What I saw made my stomach drop. A text conversation with her best friend. "My husband doesn't excite me anymore," Laura wrote casually. No emojis, no joke. Just a stark, honest sentence that cut through me like a knife. The conversation continued. "I don't know if I even love him the way I used to. Sometimes I think I'd be happier alone, or with someone else who challenges me more." I froze. Every moment, every laugh, every night we spent together. I replayed it in my mind, questioning it all. The woman I had married, the woman I loved, had been quietly disconnecting from me emotionally and physically. And she hadn't even bothered to hide it from her closest friend. I didn't react immediately. I didn't confront her the moment she walked back in. I sat there, absorbing the words, trying to understand how someone could feel so detached while living under the same roof, sharing the same life, and yet be so openly dismissive behind my back. The betrayal wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, deliberate, and deeply personal. That night, Laura came home smiling, talking about her day, completely unaware that I had seen the truth. She asked if I wanted to order dinner out, and I nodded, barely able to force a smile. Every word she spoke, every laugh, felt like it carried an invisible weight. A reminder that the woman I had shared my life with no longer felt the way I did. I spent hours lying awake in bed thinking, not just about the texts, but about the months, maybe years, of subtle detachment. The lack of intimacy, the cold responses, the polite but empty conversations. The realization hit me. I had been living with a stranger masquerading as my wife. And for the first time, I wondered what my life would look like if I stopped being the one who always chased, always tried, always forgave. The next morning, I made a conscious decision. I wasn't going to yell, beg, or try to coax her back into caring. Instead, I would observe, step back, and let reality speak for itself. I started small. No more sending her messages asking about her day. No more spontaneous coffee runs or surprise flowers. Every gesture I had made to keep her attention was put on pause. Laura noticed immediately. At first, she laughed it off, saying, "You're acting weird today, Michael." But as days turned into a week, her laughter faded into unease. She started noticing small things. I didn't text during meetings. I didn't hover around the kitchen when she cooked. I didn't respond immediately to her jokes or playful nudges. The dynamic in our home was shifting, quietly but unmistakably. One evening, she confronted me directly. "Why are you acting like this?" she asked, her tone sharper than usual. "Are you upset about something?" I looked her in the eye calmly. "I'm not upset. I'm just finally noticing what I've been ignoring for years. You've been distant, detached, and I've been chasing a woman who doesn't seem to care about me anymore. I'm done doing all the work in this marriage alone." Her face turned red, and for the first time in months, I saw fear in her eyes. "Michael, that's not fair," she stammered. I didn't realize you felt this way." I stayed quiet. Silence was my weapon now, louder than any argument I could have started. I let her feel the absence of my constant validation and effort. And slowly, the house became a mirror of our reality. Every polite nod, every empty hug, every cold exchange reminded her that she had taken for granted the person who had supported her without complaint for years. Then came the small victories. She started initiating minor conversations, asking about my day, commenting on small details she had ignored before. A week later, she suggested we go out for dinner, without me prompting her. It wasn't a grand gesture, but it was a start. A sign that she had realized the imbalance, that my absence of attention carried weight. It wasn't about punishment, and it wasn't about revenge. It was about setting boundaries, reclaiming respect, and showing her that intimacy and emotional investment aren't automatic. They are earned, nurtured, and reciprocated. A month passed, and the change was undeniable. Laura had begun to notice not just my absence of attention, but the void it created. The home felt quieter, more intentional, and with that quiet came reflection. She started coming home earlier, lingering in the living room instead of retreating to her phone, asking about my day with genuine interest, not just as a formality. One evening, she sat down across from me, fidgeting with her hands. "Michael, I've been thinking," she began, voice softer than it had been in years. "I didn't realize how much I relied on you, how much I took for granted. I've been selfish." I met her gaze calmly. "It's not too late to make changes, Laura. But you need to understand. Respect and connection can't be forced or bought. They are earned, and they must be mutual." Her eyes welled up, and for the first time in years, I saw sincerity. She wasn't performing for sympathy or trying to manipulate me. She was seeing the truth she had ignored. That our marriage had been unbalanced, that I had been giving far more than I was receiving, and that her emotional and physical withdrawal had consequences. Over the next few weeks, small gestures began to accumulate. A hand on my shoulder during a conversation, a smile without expectation, an evening where she suggested we watch a movie together instead of scrolling on her phone. It wasn't immediate perfection. The intimacy, laughter, and warmth we had lost couldn't be restored overnight. But the effort was there, and it was genuine. I realized something important during this time. The problem wasn't just about my efforts being unreciprocated. It was about her entitlement, her reliance on me to provide without investing in the emotional currency of our marriage. By stepping back, by withdrawing the automatic flow of my attention and financial support, I forced both of us to confront the truth. A marriage is only as strong as the respect, effort, and desire shared between the two people in it. Laura had learned that intimacy, attention, and love cannot be demanded. And I had learned that sometimes, the most powerful act of love, for both yourself and the relationship, is knowing when to step back, set boundaries, and reclaim respect. From that moment onward, we began rebuilding. Not with lavish gifts or constant validation, but with mutual effort, understanding, and a recognition that love is not automatic. It is chosen every day, by both people, with awareness, care, and respect. And for the first time in years, I felt like her husband again. Not just a provider, but a partner equal and valued.